Reading some of these streaming donations that I haven't noticed, somewhat tilted still, that I did not pick up on. Which one was from yesterday? I think it was somewhat not a VIP yet. Someone wants to be a VIP. What's up? Wikipoo. Oh no. Wikipoo, how did he skip the line there? It's weird. Mr. Slowhand was definitely here first. Some people had the power to like skip the line. Maybe you dropped out and came back, Mr. Slow. I saw you were challenging me and I thought it was someone else that isn't even on the list now. That's weird. Guys, we're taking challenges 5 plus 3 through 7 plus 3. Strangest thing. Maybe it was just Mr. Slow, but somehow Wikipoo jumped in front of him, and I thought there was someone else. This was like 5 minutes ago. I noticed it was good to see Mr. Slow. Mr. Slow was definitely the second challenge, but I didn't think it was Wikipoo. Maybe I'm wrong. Been known to be wrong sometimes. Anyway, guys, good morning. We're streaming from now 11 a.m. until 1:15. Waiting for your loss, Mr. Slow. Good. Good, because it didn't happen yesterday. I was heartbroken to lose that game. Well played. As usual yesterday, very well played. You kept the initiative throughout, and eventually I succumbed to a blunder. More than a blunder, though. I mean, I felt like I was in a difficult position. Alright, so Wikipoo is definitely not playing first. Mr. So somehow got in front of the other challenger, though. I don't know what happened to the other challenger. The English. I think I must have played that line again against you before, but frankly, that's getting a little boring. You know, you seem like you're welcoming the symmetrical English. If you like it so much, I'm not going to play it. I did something seriously wrong. But just giving up my white square bishop, I'm not sure that's good enough. As we had yesterday. I think I may have played it once before, the game I played yesterday, and forgotten. Of course, I don't know who I'm playing when I start out these games in Zen mode. Exactly. Though I suspected it was Mr. Slow. He had been playing the English repertoire. Here's another rare move. Bishop d3. Not very common. Now I can play c5, go back into a form of symmetrical English. I wonder if that's why this is kind of a rare move here. Let's see. Not so simple. Go slow. Cheese Noob missed the streamer battle yesterday for the first time in his life. But we did alright. We finished in 6th place. So you missed the simul. You were a little late to start. Finished in 6th place in streamer battle. Not bad. Mr. Slow must have a holiday. Mr. So. Oh, you were playing a real game? What? Is that like your first real game in history? No. I mean, in a long time? How can you play? Really? In France, they have live games? I would think, like, the coronavirus restrictions are pretty serious for you guys. I didn't catch it, you know, when you said that in the live stream yesterday. But I'm surprised you can play. I thought like France had this very serious sort of lockdown. But I guess it's the same like here. We have a lockdown, but it's not like that compulsory. Actually, we had a curfew. I don't know if that's, I think it's still in place. We have a curfew, like you're not allowed out after 8. I mean, I don't know if this is still a thing, I think. As far as I know. We still can't go out after 8. So what is this? Knight f6, e5, knight g4. Queen e2. We're going to play something. If you can do it, I can do it. How does that grab you? Copycat strategy. Just pretend it's like chess 960. What? What? Did he really seriously do this? What? I thought I had that covered. Apparently, I did. This I expect from Morales or something. Even from by Morales' standard, this is a little nuts. White's like completely going berserk. All I know is what I read in the BBC, which doesn't really cover the French news situation very thoroughly. What do you think about the Benoni defense? Which is better, Grunfeld or Benoni? The Grunfeld, I mean, they're both open, you know. Grunfeld is more respected, is slightly more correct, I would think. Well, it is. I mean, I'm not guessing here. I think there's also more, probably slightly more theory in the Grunfeld. The Grunfeld's been more popular overall. The Benoni's a little murkier. They're both kind of sharp and open positions, so they're both openings I would recommend people who like tactics. Yikes. Scared me there for a second. Bishop takes, check. Another funny position. Haha. Noob. Here, I'm simply going to develop. This didn't work out. White went crazy. I think someone made a comment yesterday, like the Grunfeld, there are hardly any good games for black. I mean, that seemed a recent, like in the last 10 years, 5 years, whatever. I don't remember who that was. Was that you, Sadamasa? I mean, I thought this is a pretty gross exaggeration. I mean, I haven't like tracked anything like that, but for any openings. But that's going a little far. Maybe it's not considered a hot opening. But it does seem really popular overall. And the Benoni, I mean, is always under a cloud. I think there's more concrete problems with the Benoni. The Grunfeld remains playable. The f4 attack and the proper Benoni. The line with 7f4 and... Is it 7f4? I don't know. The line with f4 and bishop e5 check is always considered to be better for white. Like, white can get a concrete advantage against the Benoni. I'm not sure that can really be said about the Grunfeld. Rook f3. Yeah. Okay, that's creative. I guess I'll just retreat my bishop. If that's the way you want it. The streamer competition. Yeah, I think we did alright. 6th place. Considering we have very few title players. Yeah, it was a very tough tournament. And I thought it was a reasonable result. There haven't been this many teams before. Before it was usually 4, 5, 6 teams. Now it was like 10. So 6 isn't bad. Yeah, that queenside development never really worked out here for white. Wait, which Hungarian GM are we talking about? With Gabor? Nagy Gabor? With Reddington BL? I think the 420 has to be one of our best scorers. We were having trouble making 400 the last couple of weeks. This is not pretty. It's not our best, possibly. I think we were up higher into the 400s. We never got 500. I think bishop d3 is actually a line. Don't see it very often. Yeah, there's quite a few games here. If we look at the opening explorer, black score is decent. Yeah, it's funny. I forgot I played e5. I played e5 twice. Once or twice. I should think about playing that again. It's like a reverse b3 Sicilian. Next time. But e6 bishop d3, no. Very few games. c5 is the best move. Okay. No, this is not a standard variation. Maybe for Simon Williams. He's 0-2. Oh well. Alright. It's still good enough for equal. So Wikipoo. Wikipoo isn't a subscriber. Cheesy Noob is. You don't want to play? Alright. What about Sadamasa? Sadamasa's a subscriber. We'll play Wikipoo first. He's baby chess. Whatever. You mean Pop G was playing yesterday? I didn't realize Pop G was playing yesterday. That's weird. I did not realize that. I didn't see him on the list. Least finance. It's funny, I actually have... He's on lichess, a former student of mine from France, who's related to Ferenc's list. Classical music is not my thing, but it's big in Hungary. Cultural expert. Anyways, we're going to try something here. Man, he is tough, though. Maybe we ought to be careful. Let's not go crazy yet. I've got the 4-on-3 kingside majority. Uh-oh. What's this rook d1 about? Suspicious. Rook d1 is kind of suspicious. What's he doing with rook d1? Where is this rook going? Oh my god, are you serious? What? Dude, that's totally ridiculous. Wow. Dude, he's used no time for the whole game. Why are you not like 2600, Wikipoo? 2289. He's now up to 2400 in bullet. Whoa. Did you see what he did, rook d1, with the idea of knight e5? Holy crap. I was sitting there thinking, like, what can rook d1 be about? You're seriously, you played that on purpose to prepare knight e5? Wow. That's insane. I couldn't even guess why he played it. I thought he was going to try to play d5 or something. That's a cool idea. Completely missed the point. I mean, fundamentally, he still has the issue of the two bishops, but the knight on e5 is very strong. Pawn takes. This is a big question. It's possible to take with the queen there. Another instantaneous... It's like instantaneous decision to play bishop d3. Wow. He makes these really difficult decisions instantaneously without even thinking. Bishop d3, immediately trading his e5 pawn for the f1. No wonder he's like 2400 in bullet. We've seen immense improvement. Though his bullet rating is much higher than the Blitz, he doesn't play Blitz, so that's why. It's like a king's gambit now. His dark squares got a little weaker because of c4. He's so fast, though, it upsets me. It's hard for me to concentrate. I have a terrible score against super fast players. There's this guy in the streamer battle who's like 2100 FIDE. He's like 2 out of 3 against me. I don't play fast enough that I get nervous and time pressure. But that guy uses all of his time and then tricks me when he has like seconds left. Wikipoo basically just plays fast. He never uses his time. Normally I do better against that. Damn, this is not that safe. A continuation, maybe. But Damn. What do I do here? No, I don't play players with less than 100 rated games. It can be Blitz, Classical, Rapid, Correspondence, anything but Bullet. What am I supposed to do here? Damn. So disappointing. He's played recklessly, but I couldn't find a clear win. So now I'm up upon an endgame. That's kind of difficult. It's almost like he can read my mind. Wait, Rook H4. Still doesn't work. Damn. Bullet professional. I tried to encourage Wikipedia to play longer chess, but he doesn't listen. Unless he has another account where he plays Blitz and Rapid. I haven't seen him much lately. I encourage everybody to play longer games. Wait, do I have rook? When do I have rook takes h3? Pawn takes... h3 is a problem. He's gonna have to lose another pawn. His bishop is hanging to rook takes h3, rook takes d3 in a lot of lines. So he can't take on f4 without dropping a piece. So he's basically just like losing one of his kingside pawns. The question is which one? He's already down a pawn, so I mean this position should be pretty much close to winning for black. Of course we have limited time, but we have increment. Welcome guys to the stream playing Blitz and Rapid Challenges. We've got a tough opponent here. Who's beatable but very tough. Can see everything. It's unbelievable. He seems like he's like FIDE master string. This may be a mistake. A little impatient there. What are you doing? You didn't just offer me a draw. You seriously didn't do that. You'd have to be kidding me. He offered me a draw, down 2 pawns, in opposite color bishop endgame? What? Are you serious? With increment? Dude, that's just dis. Damn. That's just rude, though. You never offer draws to higher rated players, especially in a lost position. With no increment, it might be like kind of good sportsmanship to not flag me. But here it's just rude. I mean, even 1 pawn down. It's like rude to do that. I guess he's so compulsively competitive. How does this work now? With no increment, you could offer a draw because you had the weapon of the clock. But I mean, here with increment, I would never offer somebody a draw. Not even like an equal rated player. This is just lost for white. He's like psycho competitive, it looks like. It's like a casual game. I think his life depended on it. He almost tricked me there. If I let him trade off the last pawn, it's a draw. So this position back on bishop d2, this is like the only winning move. Bishop d2 probably. Anything else is a draw. Look at this. That's crazy. Oh, I had f1 check, duh. The only winning move. Except for that. Famous last words. I think I'm like a genius for playing bishop d2. Yeah, totally wins. f1 anything. f1 knight. Sometimes the solution is right in front of our nose and we don't see it. It's too easy. Okay, cheesy noob. I don't take 3+0 challenges. That was a really brutal game. Thanks for the game. Cheesy noob. Viva la France. Cheesy noob back to tournament play. Trisa. Did you play c3 in your tournament game? Cheesy noob, white or black for live game? Yeah, I just didn't see the obvious solution. It was too easy to play f1. I didn't think he would allow me to win so easily. I've seen a lot of master games where people are like hanging their queen and the other player doesn't see it in Blitz. We're not expecting the solution to be easy, we're expecting the solution to be hard. And so when there's an obvious simple move like f1, that was surprising. I saw a game where someone played like e5 here. Ugh. Alright, I'm gonna play this standard stuff. So c3 is like a kind of relative of a Tory attack. He can play... He's playing like he's black with c6, bishop g4. Study. How do you study c3? You've got your own analysis. The expert c3 players. I've played it twice over the board. Against a FIDE master and a GM. Maybe he was an IM. But anyway, two titled players. I only played c3 against good players. I don't know if I ever played it against anybody else. I don't remember. I only remember those two games because they're relatively recent in the last 15 years. It's possible I might have played a game randomly with c3. It's not that bad. It has a lot of transpositional value. So we'll get back into our normal London, Tory attack, Kali system type of setups. Yeah, he's transposing to a Kali now, which is like the worst case scenario. Probably Kali's not that bad. However that's pronounced. What is the proper pronunciation of Kol? It's like Belgian. Does anybody know? The proper pronunciation of Kol. Kole. Kole mole. I think we need a serious discussion about this because there's a major misconception. Kole. Maybe it sounds like French. Colette. Like Colette without the et. Ask Google Translate. Good idea. I don't know if I can trust Google Translate. Something that obscure. Ernst. Is it Ernst? Colette. What was Colette's first name? You think it's precise? For something like that? Maybe. Maybe you're right. If it's in there. I don't know if Colin would be even famous enough to even be... I guess they would find it. I suppose. Colette. Colette. Colette Colette. Yeah. Belgian. Interesting question about the GM. Was Colette a GM? I like it sounding French now. Uh-oh. Edgard. That's more like it. Edgar or Edgard? Edgard. Well, that's getting almost Scandinavian. Edgard. What am I going to do here? Weak. Weak passive. The problem is he's taking on c5 a lot when I can't recapture because of my b7 bishop. I knew it was an E, but I said Ernst. That's too German. Ernst Falkbier. Austrian. GZNoob is anti-castling kingside. Yes. OCD. Castling OCD. Can castle kingside. He's allergic. But Koltanowski, right. Koltanowski was, yes, incorporating new ideas in the Kole system with b3, a new way of playing it. I had the Ken Smith book on the Kole system when I was starting out. It wasn't a masterpiece of chess literature. Koltanowski, right? No. He's not Belgian. He was Polish. Polish or Russian? I don't know. Why did I think he was Polish? But he moved to the United States, I guess, at some point. He was Belgian. I guess I get him confused with someone else. Koltanowski lived a really long life. I think he was still alive, like way into the 20th century. But I never met him. He was probably alive in my lifetime. They used to have, he was famous for blindfold exhibitions. I remember this game where he lost to a blind player really badly. So he was Belgian born. Interesting. I did not realize that. Little known fact. Koltanowski is not a Belgian name, obviously. I knew that he was foreign, like European born, but I assumed like Poland. Yeah, it can be Russian too. Kolti. It's definitely Slavic. GZNoob's just trading everything. Trading everything for the win. What am I supposed to do, Cheesy Noob? He's got this down to a science, like. So he died in 2000. But he was like really old and kind of. I don't think his health was that good. I never saw him. I don't think I ever saw him in person. He was like in a wheelchair or something, I think. I saw pictures in like chess magazines about him. He must have had health problems in his later years. But I don't know, I think maybe he lived on the West Coast or something. Because John Donaldson, a lot of these West Coast guys, I would see references to. Being an East Coast chess player in the United States, it's almost like two different countries. If you live in the US and you're a chess player, East and West Coast are like completely different environments. I only played on the West Coast like a couple times. Las Vegas, the home of Asterbait. The Beast of Baku? You mean Gary? Certainly never played Gary. I've been in the same room with him. His mother just died. Wonder about pawn takes. A little paranoid to open the A file. No, Kasparov didn't play, he wasn't like Magnus Carlsen. He didn't play in like the tournaments like the Gibraltar or. The only way you could play Kasparov would be to play like in a handful of simul's. I mean, very few people under 2600 ever played Kasparov. Like, even like among grandmasters, it was rare to get to play him. But nowadays, you could go to a tournament like the Isle of Man and face Magnus Carlsen. Not as easy to do in Karl Sparov's day. Of course, I only faced Magnus in a rapid tournament when he was younger. Carlsberg. Chisnu managed to penetrate with a rook on the 7th rank, but that's not going to be enough to save him. Or maybe it is, actually. Take that back. God. Freaking idiot, man. I'm going to lose this. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Me more than you. That was nice in-game, actually. I thought I reached a draw, but not. Wow. You played horribly at the end. You missed like rook b5. I can't believe you didn't screw it up. Congratulations, but no, I mean, both of us played this endgame really, really badly. Wow, you lost like 7 tempi, and it's probably a draw now. He found one of the few, wow, he found one of the few drawing moves here. There's only 3 moves that are a draw. I mean, a win. Man, you would come so close to screwing this up, and you didn't. That's unbelievable. Wow, nice endgame. That's impressive. But I mean, you were winning so much more easily. This is crazy. Weren't you? I mean, it's crazy that I would lose, but I was trying to win. Too hard. Yeah, I mean, like here, like rook b5. I guess that's not so clear, actually. Rook here. Anyway, we could play this in game so much better. It was... I mean, I was completely winning. Wow. I don't understand, like, where I dropped a pawn here. It was, like, ridiculous. Yeah, I shouldn't trade queens. Alright. Terrible play by both of us. Realistically. The game should have been a draw from, like, move 20. Once I got the minority attack in, I'm better. You should be lucky to draw and in fact win the endgame. Man. I'm ashamed of myself. At the end, there was a lot of points where I could take on b2, but I was trying... Unfortunately, it was just a draw, and I was trying to win. It was stupid. I didn't think there was any risk of losing, till it was. Basically, I thought I could mess around without any risk of it going wrong. And then his king got across the board. Wasn't very well thought out. That happens a lot with stronger players when they're trying to beat lower rated players. You lose your sense of rationality at some point, and it takes, you know, a good sense to not let that happen. It's easy to lose your sense of rationality. And also, when the position changes, like you're winning, and then all of a sudden you're not winning anymore, it's very hard psychologically to learn to accept a big variance in the evaluation. You know, say you were completely winning and you lost a rook. Most people lose their mind, which is understandable. It takes a really durable competitor to make a huge blunder and then carry on like nothing happened, like Mr. Spock or something. Some people tend to naturally be too more optimistic. You know, that's another thing. We can be more optimistic or pessimistic based on personality traits. But this is a solid line for black. For years, the player who I played sometimes in America, Sergei Kudrin, he was a lifetime Grunfeld player. He would play this variation for black. It's a solid line. Oh, I don't know Queen C7. Normally, like black fianchettos here. This might be something new. New to me. It's a subtle move, like, because if bishop e7, queen d3, and then bishop a6, queen e3, it's like he's waiting for me to play queen d3 so he can play bishop a6 in one move. Maybe queen c7 is a real concept. I tend to be more pessimistic than optimistic now as I've gotten older. And I played stronger and stronger players. I think it also has to do with, you know, whether you're pessimistic or optimistic or not, may have to do with the competition that you normally play. I think the people who play weak players all the time are going to be a lot more likely to be more on the optimistic side. People that play strong players all the time are going to be more, pessimistic. It has to do with the level of opposition that you're facing on a regular basis, probably. When I used to play club players every day, I was more optimistic. When I started playing in Grandmaster round-robin tournaments, suddenly reality changed for me, and I became much more pessimistic. Rook e1 is not really the most useful move in the world. So this queen c7 is some kind of subtlety. Well, my pawn's hanging, I have two options, maybe three. Book position with the addition of queen c7 and rook e1 might favor black. e5 is a possible move that's used in these type of positions. It stops knight d7, knight f6, and blocks the bishop on g7, but it also opens black's diagonal, and it gives him a huge square at d5. Yes. So that is a concept. I've seen it done in situations like bishop e2, queen e2, knight d7, e5. I use this but maybe rook e2 makes sense. The queen is more natural on e2. But I mean, I also can play e5 to stop the knight from going to f6. The knight on d7 is kind of badly placed against e5. Spidler likes to do this type of maneuver with black in this type of structure. For example, lifetime Grunfeld player. A lot of people will play e5 before the knight can get to f6 to shut it down. But it's a trade-off. You give up these squares a little bit. And it's not that many pieces on the board to do like a kingside attack here for white. We can try to do h4, h5. If you can play d5 and e5, you have a great position. Most likely. But that's not going to happen too often. I mean, that's the ideal, to get both of these pawns rolling on the 5th. But I think good defense by black is going to allow that. Guys, welcome to my stream. Tomorrow night I'm hosting a tournament, Pondo Blitz Swiss tournament. 6:30 stream start, 6:45. Let me see if I've got the link here. I might have it. Tomorrow night, join our tournament. You have to be a member of the Pawn and Horses Club, our team here on lichess. That's Tuesday night. Tournaments start at 6:45. Yeah, so we're talking about e5 here. It's not very fluid. I am threatening e6. So he's going to have to take time to defend against that. Most likely is a threat. Give me a little more time to generate some kind of attacking chances. h4, h5, one of my few ideas. Possibly this, like in a Queen's Gambit, or knight d2, to get to the e4 outpost to d6. If knight g5 here, bishop h6, knight e6, knight g5, cd, cd, with the idea of knight e4. Mouse. Of course, queen h3 could be a concept. This wasn't my original plan. Okay, c1 is protected. But if I play something like queen h3, I'm going to fall victim to traps. So I'm going to continue with the plan. Two pieces guarding this. Black's really short of time. My idea is to play knight d6. He resigned here because of time, I guess. It's a premature resignation, of course. Black isn't lost. I'm not even sure if black is worse, honestly. He has good play. I guess bishop f8 might be necessary. You might not want to let me play. You might not want to let me play knight d6. This is a serious thing. But certainly not resigns. Computer thinks you can probably defend without playing bishop f8. White is clearly better. It's interesting. I wonder if knight g5 is my best move. It is. Wow. Yeah, like my original plan was to play h4, which the engine also likes. But I'm curious if your move queen c7 is theory. Ah, so it's been played a lot, actually. It's relatively new, see? 2012, 2013. I haven't played this variation. I basically gave up playing this variation at the turn of the century because it was too much theory to keep up with for white. So I'm not aware of a lot of theory here that's changed in the last 10 years. So I wasn't aware this was even standard. But it looks like something Spidler would do. Yes. So rook e1, that's odd. That's really odd. This position is odd. Queen c7 is a modern variation. And now rook e1 is like #1 suggestion by Stockfish. This is where like fashion becomes reality. It's strange to me that only one player has played my move rook e1. It's easily like white's most natural waiting move. And that's the #1 suggestion of Stockfish. It's very strange. Then they change over to bishop g5. It's crazy that only one player has tried this. And that looks like it's a correspondence game. These aren't OTB players, are they? Harry Ingersoll? Could be, but I never heard of either of them. Wow, this has never been tried. It makes sense. I could take with the queen as well. Yeah, so actually the c5 is strong here. This is another interesting idea, queen c6. I expected you to do what you did. But as you can see, there are other ways. There are other ways to try to play the position without committing to e6, maybe. What's wrong with the standard? There is no standard. That's not the variation that I play, that's all. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, Nils. This is the line that I played, so that's what I play. Definitely not Bob. Alright guys, we're going to take more challenges. I got 2 players who want to join. Vera Carlson and Nitish. These guys both have established ratings, right? Alright, I'm going to host a tournament tomorrow. Hey, it's me, Rose, subscriber. If you guys are subscribers, I will take your challenges first. Monday and Wednesday streams, and also in the simul on Sundays. So there are certain advantages to subscribing. I'll show means upper. Okay, Mr. Miro. Juvenile delinquent trolls need to get better. Trolling themes. E4, C6, D4. Weird Wednesday. Is it Weird Wednesday? Yeah, that's the move. This B5 was created by this Georgian Grandmaster Girgadze. Years ago, but never really seemed very correct to me. Am I supposed to play E6 now? It's not a good line for black, but it's something to play to take your opponent out of book, maybe. I don't like this position for black already. B5 is dubious. We know that. But he knew the right response, A3. A lot of people play knight D2 for white, but the main point isn't to avoid B5. The main point is that players like Karpov who play knight D2 believe that it's a better setup if black plays G6. We know we're French. I wonder if he should exchange on D5 and play a kind of demented exchange French there. I mean, B5 is like a really bad move. Of course, you shouldn't castle queenside in that version of the exchange French, but I think that black's looking slow, and the weakness is on the queen side. So something like ED, ED, bishop D3 should be better for white. I'm also not a fan of the exchange French for white, but that might be the way to play it. Weird Openings Wednesday. No, it's Monday today. But I just decided to throw this out there. Every day is a good day for weird openings. So it basically feels like a win over French, where I've somehow magically traded my A pawn, my B pawn for his A pawn. Looks pretty good for white though, by way of a French defense. Because he doesn't have A3 in this French. I can play C5. This is where, like, one of our viewers, Morales, would do, like, Rook A4. Later explain that it was an exchange sacrifice he saw in a YouTube video. Actually, I can play C5. It's an interesting position. I believe it's better for white. Although, do I have D4? That's messed up. He's got knight takes D4. So DC, D4, knight takes D4. Queen D4, bishop B5 check. Knight C6, queen D4. I can't do it that way. My idea was to play this. I don't really play the French, and I'm feeling very awkward here. I was worried about this, getting into D6. Maybe not an immediate threat here. I think my mouse just froze. I'm going to a notebook store today. Maybe I'll pick up another mouse, like a gaming mouse. This one, waiting for a good one, but it's gonna take like a month to get here. Let's see, maybe a couple weeks. Sometimes this mouse just freezes. Other than that, it's really good. Does anybody know what causes that? Something in the... with an optical mouse? What would cause it to, like, occasionally freeze? Any idea? Something that's, like, correctable? Yeah, it's wireless. Like, once every hour, it'll just, like, freeze. Not the batteries. Could be... It could be mousepad related. I should try it without the mousepad. I don't think it really needs a mousepad. It just seems to randomly freeze up. And then it just goes back to normal, just for like 2 seconds. But it's really bad if you're playing a 3-0 game and you have 5 seconds left and you have a 2-second mouse freeze. Other than that, I'm really happy with it. My other mouse made this like horrible clicking sound, like a crab. This one is nice and ergonomic and quiet, and it's pretty fine, but just a minute ago it did it again. Just getting used to it now. Where are you going? See you tomorrow. Okay, Grapex. Come by tomorrow, you can play, hopefully. This Caro-Kann feels like French. I had a Caro-Kann that feels like a French the other day as well. Knight a4 is a kind of weird move. Wow. My assumption would be that he's going to try to break. Break with c4. I would probably be a good French defense player, but it takes a lot of work, I feel like, to play the French. It takes a lifetime to learn it. You have to, like, sacrifice and lose a lot of games to master openings like the French defense. Fortunately, I played the French. I've just always been afraid if I started playing the French, I'd have to lose a lot of games to sort of get the feel for it. Caro-Kann is like a compromise. The Caro-Kann doesn't feel very active either, and I have a horrible score with it in over-the-board play. Nimzovich. Very Nimzovichian. Played by White here. Maybe my last move a mistake. I got two bishops. White has great Nimzovich-like pieces. All of his pieces are excellent here. The two knights are as good as the two bishops. Queen c7, knight b5, queen b8 maybe. I can play queen b8. Trying to keep b5 under control, keep my rook protected, attack something like the e5 pawn. If queen e2, I have knight f4. I also have, well, queen b4 is never going to happen. So he has c3. Right, I'm lifting this pawn. But that can't be right. He has a tactic. Rook e5, queen e5, knight b6. Rook e5, queen e5, knight b6. Well, how much material do I get there? I could take on d4 and give him my rook. It just doesn't look like he has anything here. Close. Rook h3. I almost hung my queen, but my mouse wouldn't let me. It has like this built-in defense mechanism. The mouse protection. You still got threats? That's funny. I was trying to hang my queen. I wanted to play this so bad. I was reaching out and it wouldn't let me. Play queen b8 takes b3. Like it was an illegal move or something. I guess I was winning all the way. It's kind of funny how I found a way to try to hang my queen there, though. Imagine if I played queen takes b3. That's not good. It's probably still a draw. Or not. Take, rook a3, bishop b5, rook a1, bishop e2. Okay, it's not a draw. This should be lost. Yeah. Anyways. Virat Karlsson. Play like Kasparov. Reykjavik. And Perstukadzi. Very difficult to say. Polish-like name. That's the player who doesn't have enough games. We played them. They do have enough games. Alright. My USB port is suspect? Oh yeah, my USB ports are super suspect. I have like a really crappy USB hub. Yeah, I forgot that the winter marathon is going on. There's a Blitz marathon on lichess now. I never do those though. There's no way I could play chess for 24 hours. Yeah, I should put that mouse in the US 3.0 port directly, maybe. I'll try that. Of course, all the new laptops have 3.0s. I don't know about this one. 3 USB ports. I think maybe just one of them is a 3.0. This is a very passive move. Like, you shouldn't do this. If you want to play the Queen's Gambit Declined, play the Queen's Gambit Declined without c6. If you want to play the Slav, play the semi-Slav with h6 or d takes c4 here. But I think combining the two is a bad idea. It's just a passive Queen's Gambit for black. Dr666, thank you for your advice. Yeah, the USBs are not enough. Everybody needs like 5 USBs, and a typical laptop has like 3 ports, if that. I miss my DVD ROM drive. I found an old DVD the other day. I was like, what am I going to do with this? Alright, bishop f4. I decided to play this move. I don't know why. Normally would be bishop h4. We've kind of given him a free move. This is a mistake. I don't know what got into me. I should definitely play bishop h4. It's not a big mistake, it's a small mistake. We transpose to a bishop f4 Queen's Gambit where actually c6 is a reasonable system. Where is everybody today? Very quiet around here. Okay, it's early. I should ideally stream a little bit later, but that's the time I have from 11 to 1, typically Mondays, 11 to 1:30. You never know though. Sometimes it's been busy on Mondays and Wednesdays. Knight d5's logical move, trading pieces. I had a game similar to this. Black tried to play actively with like queen a5, but it feels wrong. This seems very strangely familiar to me. I don't know, maybe bishop e3 also. Only thing is, if I play bishop e3, it encourages black to play like a5, a4, attacking my bishop. This is a little bit like a safer square. I may play e4. My main concern is my development. I mean, white is just better here. I have a strong pawn in the center. Black has no answer to that right now. Yeah, he's going to trade knights. He should trade knights. Maybe even immediately. The c5 is an interesting move, though. That's his only chance to attack my center. That's most likely a good move for black. As I said earlier, my move bishop f4 was inaccurate, and I left him in a playable position. Let's see, check, bishop d7. He's got to check on b4. Check bishop d7. Takes, queen takes, knight e5. He's got queen b5. I have to castle. White has maybe a very small advantage here. I hate this type of structure. I love dynamic positions, not symmetrical ones. But again, it goes back to my decision earlier. If I didn't play knight takes d5, he's going to play knight takes c3 in some positions. He's almost fully equal. The idea of playing e4 is double-edged. You know, but I don't know. I mean, suddenly, we also have to watch this. He could play that. Queen d3. Black's development is a little behind here. He can't get his queen side out. Queen c2, f5, or knight f6 is possible. Knight e5. If he has knight e3, he can really play knight e3. That's probably better for white, though. It actually looks really dangerous for black. He shouldn't do that. If queen c2, yeah, he can play f5 or knight f6. I didn't think there's anything clear, but you're probably right, it's good. That was my original plan. I'm kind of hoping he plays knight takes pawn. Knight takes pawn, pawn takes, bishop takes, check, king h1. He's getting killed developmentally. He'd have nothing. Yeah, I don't have much with the queenside pawns. There's nothing to do with the symmetrical structure. Queen d3. Now we start to have something, because I have takes on d7 and e4. And we might even win a pawn in that line. Or I could just play e4 directly. I think he's in trouble. It looks like the position's falling apart for black. Also strong is knight d7, e4. Well, then his only defense was knight f6, but I have knight g4 in that position. And my queen can penetrate into h7. So I think he's in big trouble. Troublesome. Well, he's going to lose a pawn. Maybe more. I wish it was more. Check brings no relief. Yeah, this isn't much, actually. Not so easy for white. I'm only up one pawn on the king's side. His bishop on b6 is extremely strong. So this is no guaranteed win. Generally speaking, it's a good position, of course. Pawn and a bishop pair. But I think we have to be careful not to overestimate the pair of bishops. This is an interesting move, rook f8. I know personally, in my own chess, I had a tendency to overestimate the bishop pair a lot when I was younger. Because I won a lot of games with the bishop pair, but we begin to think that it's like automatically winning or something. And I think a lot of times I would overestimate my chances. Black's pretty active here. I want to get off that diagonal. Make his bishop not so effective. I can play bishop g3. Then we'll really be up a pawn, no compensation with bishop pair. This is looking pretty good. Oh, I'm just winning. I'm sorry, I missed this last move. Pretty obvious. But I mean, the thing is, when you make a move like g4, you know, you can't just say like you're weakening the position. I think you need to look at positions in terms of color complexes. I'm particularly, you know, unlikely to be vulnerable to being attacked on the white squares. He only has a dark square bishop. Because he doesn't have a white square bishop, I have a white square bishop, I can get away with moves like g4, which would normally be weakening in some sense. Think more in terms of color complex, and you can find, you know, whether or not that's really weakening. Play like Kasparov, the butcher of Baku. All right. One great thing about Kasparov was his, what I appreciate was his, you know, universality in the openings. He plays d4, e4. Spassky. Gary played c4 too. The English, he play anything. Though he went through phases where he played something more than others. So, alright. I haven't played Blumenfeld in a while. I did a video series for the site called The Chess World. But don't buy it on account of me. I don't get like a commission. But if you're looking for something, okay, this was like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, but I like the Blumenfeld. It's an underestimated variation for black. One knight h6, you mean? Knight h6. Rook f6. That's a new one. There are some problems still for black in the Blumenfeld, but for a long time it was considered completely like lame. It's actually not that bad for black. Some newer ideas were discovered. When I was learning, nobody played the Blumenfeld. It was totally, after the 80s, it just became like a dinosaur. This is funny though, a lot of people play this. It's atheoretical. I don't think I even covered this in my video series. And I'm encountering a lot of people who play that move, and I've had a hard time against it. It's actually not that bad. This is strange. You'll find very few games where it's actually been played, yet my score against it is not so great. It's kind of hard to deal with this, but I have these strong pawns here. Maybe this is going too far for white. Wow. This pawn has to be reinforced. This is such an important point in the position. There are better ways to play that though. After ED, I think I've had mostly people play E3 or maybe bishop G5. Can't remember now. I've had people even play like A4 against me. Rook E1. It's hard to remember. But if you look at any opening books, encyclopedia, what have you, this variation like doesn't exist. It's like the web page that says this web page does not exist. C takes B5 does not exist. This should be good for black. I didn't have to sacrifice anything. And I have an active position. Actually, you're down a pawn. Temporarily at least. This web page does not exist. I was planning on B4. Why would I play anything else? I have to play B4. Second guessing myself. Stupid. Yeah, I mean, this is going to kick you out to B5, and I have good control of E4. Give us some vague threats to bishop F4. But this wasn't good. Yeah, you've got to learn how to play against this. It's odd, though, that this move isn't so bad. I wish you could do a search feature on lichess by position, because you could find in my games like probably 5 or 6 situations where I face this, and I'm not convinced by my play. I looked at it with a computer, too. It's not that simple. But nobody's played bishop G3 right away. That's totally new. This reaction by white is just too passive. I think objectively white is close to losing. It's a little tricky getting this knight out from B8. Should I go here? Should I block my bishop? Right, the opening caught him off guard. This is going to be ugly. The ultimate pawn center. The pawn smile. I've never had that advanced pawn smile. This early in the opening. It's normally like a... I had that against... I could have had that against you yesterday. Edward Elric in the closed Sicilian. Normally black has like c5, d6, e6, f5. Advanced pawn smile. When the pawns are smiling at you, you know you have a problem. Now his rook is protected. It's a lot of pawns. My pawn smile just got chopped off on the right side. Outpost. Know what Tartakover said. Late on the 6th. It's game over. Basically, those were not his exact words. I don't remember his exact words. But that's the gist of it. Sixth rank outpost is so disruptive that it's winning in most cases. This is what would have happened in my other game, essentially, where I played the Grunfeld with white when I had knight g5, knight e4, knight d6. I mean, I could just play this. This forfeits the dark square blockade a little bit, but I'll accept that. Willing to make the sacrifice. Here? I have a soft spot for the two bishops you were talking about earlier. These bishops are brutal. Maybe I ought to get my rooks in the game a little bit here. Realistically, eventually I'm threatening something serious here. I guess bishop c3 is strong too. His queen is almost trapped mid-board. Now d4. Doesn't look good. The pawn center is too strong. Bishops, all my pieces. Guys, I gotta leave at around 1:15. I have the maximum. Thanks everybody for taking part in my stream. Queen a5 never occurred to me. I don't think we have any need. We're going to just go d4 next. It's over. I think. He has no move. I mean, realistically, his only move is rook f1. Losing... Yeah, I mean, this is horrible. Rook f1, d4, queen c1, and his queen is trapped by d2. Yeah, that's not good. So this is strange about this move. C takes b5. You find here 12 games. The computer says it's still equal for white, so I guess I should have mentioned this when I did the video series. But it just didn't seem like it was worth mentioning, you know. But no master level players generally play this move. It's not that easy to figure out black's best. Okay, so bishop g5. Now that I think about it, it has to be bishop g5 here. Your best chance. This is not so simple. It's actually kind of tricky. Look, the computer is claiming white's clinging to an advantage with this move. 12 games, no draw. It's funny. Now there's draw. Maybe transposition. Yeah, there's no draws, and then we get some transpositions though. Yeah, it had to be a delayed capture on b5. g3 was played by Tregobov. 1994. He didn't know what he was doing either. Obviously, so you're in good company. He managed to draw. Yeah, this is ugly for white. Not a good position. Alright, anybody else who's a subscriber, Yevgeny? I've got a rated challenge, that's not going to happen. Rated 5-0 anyway, wouldn't have time to get that far. I'm going to take the challenge from Yevgeny, who's a subscriber to the stream. Yeah, a6 destroys your pawn. I mean, your pawn on b5 is quite strong. Anytime the opponent has something in your airspace, I think you should naturally want to destroy it. You should expect me to destroy it. I don't like the opponent to have things on my side of the board. You pre-move bishop g2. No, in this time control, there's no need to pre-move. I had this the other day against him, Yevgeny, and I realized you're trying to play it again. Play it again, Sam. So I made it an accuracy against Yevgeny. I guess I played bishop g5 right away last Tuesday. It turns out that move is slightly inaccurate for white. I can't imagine it can be so bad. Now Yevgeny came prepared for an improvement. Oh, b5. What's this? What is this? I know nothing. Well, I know nothing about this. I don't know what this is. Wow. Knight b5, knight e4, bishop c4, bishop b4 check. That actually looks pretty okay for black. If e5, what happens? e5? What is this, some sort of Tony Miles variation? e5, b4? What is this? Oh, that's crazy, right? This is some very rare variation he's playing here. My theoretical knowledge is not too great in this Vienna game, or whatever it's called. What is this called anyway for black? Vienna variation? Normally black plays, I guess that's just like c5, actually. I don't know what b5 is. Tolush. Tolush always reminded me of like the name of Furby. There was this Furby. Do you remember what Furbies are? Tolu. My name is Tolu. Tolush. He was a Soviet-era Russian grandmaster. kind of a punching bag for the top players, but a respectable grandmaster nonetheless. Ivan Sokolov actually did a course on Toulouse. Interesting. Ivan Sokolov is something of an opening expert. He's become kind of a high-level trainer. He's written some good books on openings, the Nimzo, classical Nimzo. He seems like kind of a cool guy. I played him in the New York Open once. I lost with white in a semi-Slav, actually. We had a really good conversation talking about chess after the game. Seems like a cool guy. He's a really fighting, dynamic style player. But let me get this straight, right? Where is Ivan Sokolov from originally? Somewhere in the in former Yugoslavia, right? But it doesn't really make sense to me. No, he lives in the Netherlands since like the 90s, but I don't understand where he's from originally. That's the thing that confuses me. It's not important, but I like to understand. Bosnia. Alright, so if he's Bosnian, why is his name Ivan Sokolov? I mean, this sounds completely Russian. There are Hungarians named Ivan, and it's totally standard. But Sokolov, I mean, it's like super ultra Russian. It's totally not Yugoslavian. So I was always confused. Bosnia, you're right. He is from Bosnia. Now I remember. That's true. Okay, black blundered with c5. Losing the diagonal. Right, I mean, ich is the Yugoslavian variation of ov. It's like a patronymic. Right? Of Victor. But, what is b5? Some kind of crazy variation. Like here it says there's only 56 games with c5, but that's going to be a transposition to a Queen's Gambit accepted. I meant bishop e4 and then c5. That's the Vienna variation. c5 is a Queen's Gambit accepted. I'm surprised there's not more games here, actually. Okay. Bishop e4 is the proper move. I was unprepared for b5. Could you play knight d5? Yeah, see, I thought so. I've seen this before. No, you're supposed to play knight d5, man. I had seen this before. I don't know what it's called. Miles played it. Can we get, we can get this from the Queen's Gambit accepted. See? I think it's actually a transposition. You're supposed to play it like this. Now knight b6. This is not so bad. I was thinking during the game, though, I was thinking maybe black is something else, but apparently there's no other moves. Interesting. Stockfish like c6 novelty. That's an ugly move. Then it changes its mind. It's like, nah, that's not so good. Take it back. Knight b6 is okay. So Edward Elric is just experimenting with crazy stuff. B4. This is a theoretical novelty. An awfully dangerous situation. I could have taken here. Wow. We can both queen. The problem is I could take here on f8 with check. I was thinking we both promote. This is just silly. What happened if we both promoted? It would just be funny to play with 4 queens. That's brutal. I have queen f8 check. Oh god. Alright, anyways. Edward Elric. Yeah, you need to stay a little more prepared there. If you're gonna play sharp stuff. But if you know what you're doing, you'll have an advantage against me, because my sharper d4 theory hasn't been updated for like 15 years. I started playing knight f3 all the time, and kind of didn't keep up. So the d4 stuff is falling behind. I need to update. I don't even own like chess base. Alright. This name I am not going to say because I'm unskilled at name saying. It has too many letters. And I'll just embarrass myself. So. Ra, the god of the sun. They started refunding rating points on Evil Chess Site. People who played the opening too slow, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't play on the Evil Chess Site. Boldler. Who was Boldler anyway? I didn't even hear of that till I started playing on lichess. I wouldn't have stopped to really look at the name of the system with bishop c4. It's a reverse. It's closed Sicilian. It's not that bad. This guy's 900 or 800, but it's cool. Like I'm so impressed that he's not intimidated to challenge me. Like nobody plays who's under 1600. Troll and a Roll is here. That's an awesome name, but I'm not going to attempt to say it. We call him Ra. Keep it simple, Egyptian style. Now, if we don't use the Egyptian style time management system, where you take the time with you to the grave, you're buried with it, and you can use it in the next game. That could be like a chess variant or tournament variant. Every game you like add up your time that you had left over from the last game and start putting it together to a big ball of time. Egyptian system. F4 I lost against this guy, Chetrish, or what was his name? Karakash Marius. In a tournament in Romania, the only time I faced this, I could play G6. Does G6 just transpose to 11 fish dragon? I played the dragon. Yeah. It's 11 fish dragon. Why wouldn't I have played that? Why didn't I think of that when I played this over the board game? 11 fish probably played with Tolush a lot of games. Those guys are probably the same generation. Early Soviet grandmasters. Though bishop c4 here looks... It's probably a move, actually. Mostly it's like knight takes c6, b takes c, e5. And then black has knight g4, knight d7. He's 796, he has 100 games. You gotta be careful with bishop c4 though. I'd imagine I don't have a lot of options here. I mean, I have to develop. We were talking about Toulouse earlier. Makes me think of Levenfish, Toulouse, 40s era Soviet grandmasters, 30s even. He's doing pretty good for a 796. Feels like black might have something. Knight takes e4. Not quite ready yet. Maybe now I'm threatening something. I'm not sure white has a good move in this position. Actually, he might. That wasn't what I was expecting. I think he should play knight f3, ironically. Knight f3. What do I do? There's all the guys like Botvinnik, like destroyed. Botvinnik. His victims. Alright, knight g4. That's like all those wins for Botvinnik in 100 selected games against people like Toulouse, Levenfish. His victims. The list of victims goes on and on. Botvinnik in the 30s. But, you know, they're losing to one of the greatest players in history. Also, Bronstein has games against these guys. Doshotmirsky. A lot of great Soviet chess history. See, like being an American, we don't have as much chess history. Just Bobby Fischer, Reshevsky. Okay, there's some, but it wasn't as interesting. I live in Hungary, but I'm really an American. White just went crazy after a good opening. He lost all of his pieces. I guess I should take his queen. This is kind of more gentle this way. It didn't even occur to me I could just take his queen. I was so interested in that. I was so interested in the free knight on d4. So he's really a total beginner. Anyway, kudos to him for trying. There's a lot of history in American chess that I don't know. I should probably know more. Time to go. And end it. I started playing chess in 1985. Pre-1985 US chess history, I don't know that well. Yeah. I had a kind of dubious relationship with Emery Tate. The last time he wanted to like beat me up. We were on bad terms. in our last encounter. He was acting crazy. But someone owed him money and I reminded him of it. He wasn't happy about that. I mean, he owed someone money. And I brought it up. I was asked to remind him. I shouldn't have done that though. He was really pissed. That was in 2006. The last time I saw him. Though I might have played him in Blitz on ICC. I don't know. I don't remember. There might have been a Blitz game. I don't know if I got paired with him. He was finally playing online chess at the end. In his declining years. Alright. Guys, I gotta go soon. I just realized. Looks like we have time for one more quick game. Maybe, maybe not. One more quick game. No, Emery was an interesting guy. If he wasn't crazy, he probably could have become a GM. But he had serious issues. We all do. What's up, Sheber? Good to see you. I'm going to play one more game. If I wasn't crazy, I could be a GM too. This goes for all of us. Yeah, do 5+3 instead. That's a little faster, if you don't mind. Pers the Clodzic. I appreciate it. 5+3. Draw. Maybe later. Maybe next time. He wants to tell his friends he got to draw. Come on now. That's just ridiculous. Can't possibly give you a draw. I have an obligation to the truth. Why did you say only drink sparkly water? Because I'm Sparkle Horse? Alright, we snuck him. 5+3 last game. Sheber Spiller is going to stream. Endgame Grinder. Technicush. All around good guy. Oh, that's Andrew Tate's motto. I get it. Alright, now I understand. Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about Emery's personal life. He was here once in Budapest. This is before I moved here. He had a very bad experience. That's why I got in trouble for reminding him that he owed his entry fee for the tournaments here. Or part of it, or something like that. He didn't pay. I feel like I'm playing Cheesy Noob. Cheesy Noob-like approach here by White. To put maximum pressure on the White center. I guess he could play D5, but that's probably not a good move. Cheese Noob likes to castle queenside in this type of structure. I gotta go, guys, shortly after this game. I like the way that Persicladzic traded the bishops. I've used this type of strategy myself. If you're facing the bishop pair, sometimes it's a good idea, even if it's slightly awkward like this. Often a good idea to trade off the enemy bishop pair. I could have a problem here, actually. Well, not a big problem. I guess knight c4, I'll have to castle. Castle queenside? No. I could just play queen c7, alternatively. Am I castling into an attack, though? That's the problem. If I castle kingside, he has g4. At some point down the line. Now Gada Kamsky would play like a4. Just kind of keeping his position. I think that black is fine. Maybe slightly better. It's basically I'm playing like b3 opening with white. How did this go again? Yeah, bishop g5. I mean, this is a good system. I think that bishop g5 is regarded as the best move. I lost to my friend Igor Feugl once with knight e4. After knight e4, black has trouble solving his problems. This is the correct way to play it. What I did now. See, I was waiting to see what he's going to do with this king before I commit to castling kingside. I want to know if he's castling queenside or what he's doing. But meanwhile, we've clamped down on e4, so he can't break. His only break is g4, difficult to play, maybe. And I've got space on the queenside now. I can try to play a6, b5, etc. I've had a lot of games with Cheesy Noob of a similar nature. You could have castled queenside, it's kind of dangerous. You can also castle kingside. But white just has like less space here, I would say, objectively. I was thinking of a6, but it seems almost like a waste of time to play a6. Because if I play a6 anyway, I'm going to have to later move the rook. We might as well just omit a6 and just play b5 and a5. Swiss at 2 p.m. The Schieber Swiss. So there's now the base of your pawn chain at c3. Introducing the new base of your pawn chain. New and closer and more improved. Help improve the stream and make a donation. Thank you for your generosity. Exactly. Okay, I have queen a5. Doppelganger. Double attack of a2 and c3. Looks a little greedy to grab that pawn on a2. b4, queen a2. My queen could get trapped. I can run back to a6 and hide. It's guerrilla warfare. Knight a1 is not a happy move for anybody. Not a move you want to have to play, really, but it protects the pawn. Wow. Creativity in defense. I have to admit, I missed that one. Backward retreating move. Went completely right past me. Well, see, I mean, the thing is now he can lock the position with b4 at some point. I wonder if I should sack a piece. Sack a ponda. No. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Bishop takes. I mean, it's crazy to do that. It's possible to do it. Like, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes, castles. Queen takes a2. It's really reckless for black. Is there a way to see viewers' custom tournaments on lichess nowadays without a link? Okay, interesting question. Does anybody know? No, when I make a tournament, I mean, I feel like there should be a way. Maybe there isn't, but it's like you're right. Like there should be. And if there's not, we've been robbed by lichess. Oh, this is all right. He's defending this really well. I don't have much. Might want to improve there. He might be able to improve his defense. He's 1900 in bullet. That's decent. Yeah, Troll, it sucks that there is no link, I guess. They used to have private tournaments. I guess now there's like too many. So it's like this like out of control massive list or something. I don't know why. Man. No. Greed. Greed is one of the 7 deadly sins. Jonathan Russin wrote a book, right? 7 Deadly Chess Sins. Never read it, but I heard good things about it. Jonathan is a true intellectual. Pawn takes pawn, followed by rook g8, rook h8. 7 deadly chess sins. Greed is definitely one of them. Oh my god, no. You're not allowed to save your knight. Nice try, though. Now he's got 2 connected passed pawns. So that was a mistake. I would think. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. Schieberspieler is gonna stream. No, it's not a Chess 960 tournament. I assume. It's a little too close to home at this point. Give me that. Tricky. Trickery. It's not enough, though. Shouldn't be enough to save you. Okay, guys, we're going to be back. What's tomorrow night? We've got our own tournament. But he should probably not trade the pieces off here. I'll be over in a minute. It's a problem. Yes, the blockade. The blockade is final. I'm not gonna even bother to dignify that with a capture. Yes. Your c-pawn, the base of the pawn chain, which I spoke of earlier, the new improved cracking that's easier to take with the king there. Safer. His pawn structure is cracking. It took a while, but we got in. He's escaping. Alright, thank you for the game, guys. We're going to be back tomorrow night. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Tomorrow night, Blitz Swiss tournament. Cheaper Spieler is going to stream. I'll see everybody later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.